Imagine this. You wake up in the morning. You brew your favorite coffee, get into your car, and head out for your daily routine. Everywhere around you, there is life, laughter, bustling markets, and children playing in the streets. Everything feels perfectly permanent. But then, the very next night, your entire city, your friends, your home, and you yourself, vanish from the face of the earth forever. Centuries later, when someone finally stumbles upon the place you once lived, they find nothing but dust, dead silence, and haunting questions. No, this isn't the plot of a Hollywood sci-fi movie. This has actually happened to hundreds of thousands of people who once walked this earth. History is full of advanced civilizations that were centuries ahead of their time. They possessed engineering and technology that would leave modern-day scientists scratching their heads. Yet, in a single, sudden moment, they were completely wiped out. And the biggest mystery of all, they left absolutely no trace behind. No final letters, no clear explanations. For centuries, world-class scientists, historians, and archaeologists have spent their entire lives trying to answer just one question. Where did they go? Did the earth swallow them whole, or did the sky rip them away? Did they face a sudden, catastrophic end, or did they simply pack up and walk into the unknown? Today, we are going to strip away the layers of time and uncover the mysteries of three ancient cities that completely baffled the world. Hold on tight, because today's journey is going to be as terrifying as it is fascinating. Let's hit the button on our time machine and travel roughly 4,500 years into the past. We are heading over to the Indus River Valley, located in modern-day Sindh, Pakistan. The name of this ancient city is Mohenjo-daro, which literally translates to the Mound of the Dead. But when this city was alive and thriving, it wasn't the Mound of Death, it was the New York and London of its era. Now, usually, when we think of the ancient world, what comes to mind? We picture people living in mud huts, hunting in forests, or herding livestock. But the citizens of Mohenjo-daro were different. They possessed a level of urban planning that puts many modern cities to shame. First, let's look at their homes. They weren't built with loose mud, but with solid, uniform, oven-baked bricks. The entire city was laid out on a perfect grid system, meaning the streets were completely straight and intersected at perfect 90-degree angles. But the feature that truly blows everyone's mind is their drainage system. Every single house had its own private bathroom, a separate toilet. And wastewater was channeled through pottery pipes into covered, underground drainage lines running beneath the main roads. Just think about that. While the rest of the world still learned how to stitch clothes and build basic shelters. Not the people of the cemetery where people were laid to rest with ritual and care. These people died where they stood. One skeleton was found collapsed right in the middle of a street. In another spot, an entire family was found holding hands, frozen in death. As if they didn't have a single second to react or flee. Some skeletons even showed signs of severe skull trauma. So, the question arose, who or what killed them? The first and oldest theory suggested that the Indus River suffered a catastrophic flood, drowning the entire city. But experts quickly rejected this. If a massive flood had swept through, the bones would have been scattered and washed away by the current. Not found piled up in the exact spots they died. Then, some historians theorize that Aryan invaders from the north attacked and slaughtered the population. However, there are no signs of a massive battle or ancient weaponry anywhere in the city. The number of skeletons found was also just a few dozen, whereas the city's population was well over 40,000. And then comes the wildest, most controversial theory of all, the ancient nuclear explosion theory. A few researchers claimed that when these skeletons were tested, they showed levels of radiation that were exceptionally high, comparable to the victims of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. They also claimed that at the epicenter of the city, certain bricks and stones were found putrefied, or melted into glass. A phenomenon that can only happen when temperatures skyrocket past 1,500 degrees Celsius, typical of a major blast. Did they possess some form of highly destructive, forgotten technology thousands of years ago? Or did something catastrophic fall from the heavens? While mainstream science and archaeologists dismiss this nuclear theory as pure science fiction, stating there is no verified proof of localized radiation, the question remains: what actually happened? The most logical and accepted theory is that over time, the Indus River shifted its course. When the river moved away, the city ran completely dry. A severe drought followed, crops failed, and the population gradually abandoned the city to search for water elsewhere. But who were those people left dying in the streets? And what did their final day look like? That secret remains buried beneath the silent, dust-covered alleys of Mohenjo-Daro. Largely because we still haven't been able to decipher their written script. The day we finally crack their code, one of history's greatest mysteries will finally be solved. Let's leave the dust of the Indus Valley behind and step forward in time, right into the golden, extravagant age of the Roman Empire. But on the afternoon of August 24th, 79 AD, the ground suddenly began to violently shake. The citizens assumed it was just a common earthquake, but then, a catastrophic blast shattered the sky, shaking the entire region to its core. Mount Vesuvius had erupted. The top of the mountain blew completely off, launching a massive column of black smoke, toxic gases, and volcanic ash 20 miles high into the atmosphere. Panic completely consumed the city. Some people fled toward the sea, while others made the fatal mistake of hiding in the basements of their homes. That decision sealed their fate. The next morning, a deadly phenomenon known as a pyroclastic flow surged from the volcano. This is a superheated wave of toxic gas and ash that races down the mountainside at speeds exceeding 400 miles per hour, with temperatures soaring past 300 degrees Celsius. The people left in the city didn't stand a chance. The moment this scorching wave hit, the moisture in their bodies vaporized instantly, killing them in a fraction of a second. Within 24 hours, the entire city of Pompeii was buried under a 20-foot blanket of boiling ash and stone. A living, breathing metropolis was completely erased from the map. Time stood still. Centuries passed, and the world forgot Pompeii ever existed. Forests grew over it, and new towns were built nearby. Then, in 1748, nearly 1,700 years later, workers digging a canal accidentally struck the ancient city. What archaeologists found when they excavated the site shocked the world. Pompeii hadn't just collapsed into ruins, it was perfectly preserved under the ash exactly as it was. The paintings on the walls were vibrant, loaves of bread were still sitting in the ovens, and most terrifyingly, the people were still there. As the heavy volcanic ash settled around the victims, it hardened over time. While their clothes, flesh, and bones eventually decayed over the centuries, they left behind perfect, hollow cavities, human molds trapped inside the hardened ash. Archaeologists came up with a brilliant idea. They injected liquid plaster into these empty spaces. Once the plaster hardened and the outer ash was carefully brushed away, they were left with hyper-realistic plaster casts of the victims, capturing their final agonizing moments in haunting detail. They found a mother tightly clutching her small child, trying to shield him with her own body. They found a man sitting on the ground, his face buried in his hands as he wept in his final seconds. In another corner, two lovers were found embracing, accepting their fate together. Even a dog was found, chained to a post, twisted in pain, frozen in stone forever. Pompeii serves as a chilling reminder of just how fragile human civilization is when faced with the raw fury of Mother Nature. But what if I told you there was a place where archaeologists didn't find sudden skeletons like Mohenjo-Daro? Nor a devastating volcanic eruption like Pompeii, yet an entire advanced civilization vanished overnight, leaving their pristine cities completely empty. For this mystery, we must plunge deep into the dense, unforgiving jungles of Central America, across modern-day Mexico, Guatemala, and Honduras. This was the home of one of history's most mysterious and advanced cultures, the Maya. The Mayans were thousands of years ahead of their time. While much of Europe was still struggling through the Dark Ages, the Mayans were constructing massive stone cities deep within the rainforests. Dominated by soaring pyramids, magnificent palaces, and complex astronomical observatories. Their achievements are mind-boggling. They developed a highly accurate calendar based on the movements of the stars and planets, a calendar more precise than the one we use today. While most of the ancient world had no concept of advanced mathematics, Mayan mathematicians independently discovered the concept of zero, allowing them to make complex calculations into the millions. They had a fully developed writing system using complex hieroglyphics. Cities like Tikal, Copan, and Chichen Itza housed hundreds of thousands of citizens, supported by massive artificial reservoirs and canal systems designed to harvest rainwater. But then, during the 8th and 9th centuries, roughly 1,200 years ago, something deeply bizarre happened that would puzzle historians for generations. One by one, these massive, thriving cities began to go completely dark. This wasn't a slow, multi-century decline. There are no signs of foreign invasion, no mass graves, no burned buildings, and no evidence of warfare within the city centers. There is no proof of a sudden plague either. They just abandoned their architectural masterpieces. Over time, the aggressive jungle reclaimed the cities, burying the Grand Pyramids under thick roots and canopy, hidden from the world until modern explorers uncovered them. Why did they leave? Why would an advanced civilization abandon the paradise they spent centuries building? For years, theories ran wild. Some people even jokingly suggested they were contacted by aliens and left Earth. However, when modern scientists analyzed soil samples and core samples from ancient lake beds, they uncovered the cold, hard truth, the megadrought theory. The Mayans were victims of their own rapid success. To sustain their exploding population and build their massive stone monuments, they deforested millions of acres of jungle. By cutting down the trees, they inadvertently disrupted the local ecosystem. With fewer trees to cycle moisture back into the atmosphere, rainfall drastically decreased. To make matters worse, nature dealt a brutal blow. A catastrophic megadrought hit the region, leaving it without a single drop of rain for decades. Without water, agriculture completely collapsed. Famine swept through the concrete jungles. And when resources dwindled, human nature turned stark. Brutal civil wars broke out between rival kings and factions fighting over the remaining food and water supplies. Society fractured. Realizing that staying in these grand stone cities meant certain death, the surviving citizens broke up into small tribal groups and retreated deep into the jungle to live simple agrarian lives. They left behind their grand history, their massive pyramids, and their complex sciences. Their rapid progress had become their ultimate downfall. The masterfully engineered covered drains of Mohenjo-Daro and its unburied dead, the frozen plaster figures of Pompeii and their final moments of terror. And the towering Mayan pyramids standing silently in the shadows of the jungle. These aren't just fascinating stories from history books. They are a mirror held up to modern humanity. We look at ourselves today and think we are invincible. We have 5G internet, soaring skyscrapers, global satellite networks, and cutting-edge artificial intelligence. But against a sudden shift in climate, a simple volcanic eruption, or a breakdown of our vital natural resources, we are just as vulnerable as the humans who walked this earth thousands of years ago. History has a habit of repeating itself. If we do not respect our planet and manage our resources wisely, then centuries from now, another civilization might just be excavating our modern cities. Picking up our smartphones, and wondering, where did they all go? Which of these three ancient mysteries shocked you the most? Do you think Mohenjo-Daro faced a natural disaster, or do you believe there's truth to a hidden, catastrophic event? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. If you found this video thrilling and informative, make sure to hit that like button, share it with your friends. And subscribe to Ink Explainer with notifications turned on so you never miss another deep dive into history's greatest secrets. Until next time, stay curious, and take care of yourselves. Goodbye.